Fleischer isn't an animation studio you hear much about since it basically poofed out in the early 40s, but in the 30s, these guys were competitors with Disney. Okay, even then, they weren't quite on the same level, but their accomplishments were nothing to sneeze at. They're mainly remembered for their creation of Betty Boop and their adaptations of two comic strips, Popeye and Superman. The impact of these cartoons cannot be understated. Of course, it's here we get the infamous faster than a speeding bullet intro.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
As well as Superman's power of flight, where he only jumped before. Each one is only about 10 minutes long, and yet they found a way to condense everything that made Superman interesting into each one. They follow a simple structure, introduce the bad guy or whatever, Lois gets in way over her head, Superman shows up, does some cool stuff, Lois writes the article. And yet, for as simple as it is fantastic. This is pure Superman. The animation is beautiful and the stories are imaginative. The voice acting is good, as it stars the same voice actor for Superman and Lois as the radio show. Speaking of which, I think it would be at least accurate to call this an extension of the radio show, which started a year before in 1940. The radio show is responsible for many of its own firsts, like the introduction of Perry White and Jimmy Olsen, and even Kryptonite. The show would adopt the same theme song as this alongside with the intro. As far as I can muster, the radio had a lot of the intro, including the "It's a bird, it's a plane" part.
Look! Up in the sky!
It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
But this made the speeding bullet part, as I said earlier. Although out of the 17 shorts, this comes out of the first 9. See, the Fleischer brothers were already on bad terms before the Superman shorts, and along with some financial trouble, they were booted along with the rest of the shorts being done by famous studios, who had some connections to Fleischer. So the rest of it would take on a darker tone, lower budgets, and a good helping of World War II propaganda. Don't get me wrong, these are still good shorts, but they aren't on the same level as the Fleischer stuff. But those first 9 are about as close to perfect as you could possibly get.